Hello creators, it's Melissa with Melissa's Creations, and today we are making a mug for Christmas. Isn't it cute? I think it's so adorable. So I've used some of the new DSP paper from the Christmas or the holiday catalog, and I've used Real Red for the mug here, and then we have some of our beautiful organza ribbon, and I've used a doily down here on the little square of paper that this is acting as my saucer, I guess. And then I've just taken one of our gusseted cellophane bags and I filled it up with this white kind of crinkly crafty paper, and then you just put your little goodies or treats down in there, which I don't have any goodies and treats right now because being shortly after Halloween, there is barely a scrap of candy in this house, which is both good and bad. So we're gonna make this. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. So I have a couple sheets of Real Red cardstock, and the first thing that I want to do is cut a square from one of them. We want this to be the base, which is our saucer, and I'm going to cut this at 3.5 inch square. So 3.5 by 3.5. And then we're just going to set that aside. And here I have a piece of cardstock. Now this is from a 12 by 12 sheet. So it's 12 inches long and it is currently 5.5 inches wide. Now it doesn't have to be that wide. You could make your mug shorter, but I like a tall mug so that I can get a lot of goodies in there. And I think it's a perfect size for a 3 by 6 cellophane bags because they just stick out a little tiny bit at the top, and I like that size. So what we're going to do is take this 5.5 by 12 inch piece of paper, and we are going to score it at every 1 inch. Now we are going to cut some off of the end, and I'll tell you exactly how big of a piece you're going to need after we get all of our score lines, but I'm scoring it every inch for about 8 inches. So I have 1, 2, 3 panels, and I'm going to keep scoring every 1 inch until I get 8 panels. So 4, 5, 6. Now you can go ahead and swing the arm out and measure along the ruler here, or what I like to do, and it's a little quicker, is I just line up my score line with the next measurement. So here's my score line here, and I'm lining it up with the 1 inch. So there is 7, and we'll do one more at 8. Okay, so now we have 8 panels. Now I'm going to line up my last score line with the 1/2 inch mark on my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it. So this is actually an 8.5 inch wide piece. So you could definitely get away with using half of a sheet of cardstock. Now that leaves me with a little piece like this. And this is, I don't know, 3.5 by 5.5. Now I just want to cut a 1 inch strip from this. And then I am going to score it on either end at the 1/2 inch mark. So a 1/2 inch there, and a 1/2 inch there, and this is what's going to be my handle on my mug. All right, so then once you have your panels all scored, we are going to score it at the 1 inch mark. So score it like so that you end up with a 1 inch score line running across the length. All right, so we're going to crease all of those score lines with our bone folder. Then we're going to take our snips, and the tiny little rectangle down here is going to come completely off. And then I'm going to kind of cut at an angle so that on our 1/2 inch piece here, this is what we're going to glue together so that our mug stays together. So I'm just kind of wedging out the edges on that piece. And then you're going to cut up every score line on the bottom up to that 1 inch score line. All right, I'm gonna take some of our fast fuse and I'm going to put that right on the little tab on the side there. And then I'm going to connect these, and I'm matching up the score line on the bottom first so that I make sure that my mug is not wampus. And then I'm going to match up the edge of the cardstock with that score line right there. So now I have some more beautiful designer series paper. This is from the Christmas Around the World DSP, and it's going to be my panels on my mug. So my mug is 4.5 inches tall. So I want to trim, this is a 6 by 6 inch piece of designer series paper. So I'm gonna trim this down to 4 3/8 because I just want a teeny tiny red border in between my paper on my mug. So 4 3/8. And then I'm going to cut this every 7/8 of an inch. So I'm lining it up with the 7/8 right here on this side, and we're just going to cut 7 of those panels. So there's 1, and you want to make sure you keep them in order so that when you put them on your mug, they look like they're consecutive, because they are. So we'll cut 7 panels. Now, when you get to your 6th and 7th panel, it will be just a hair, like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the 7/8 mark, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and use that as it is, if I can get it lined up here without, there we go. So I'm just gonna cut that right in half, just like that. So they're just a teensy bit smaller than the rest of your panels, but nobody's ever gonna know. So I have all of my panels in consecutive order, and I'm just going to get those adhered down with some fast fuse. All right, so now I'm going to adhere my handle, and to do that, I'm going to fold over on those score lines and give those a crease. And then I'm going to put some fast fuse on those little tabs. And I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to kind of give a curve to the paper, just like that, like you're curling some ribbon. I'm going to adhere the top of the handle about an inch down from the top is where this first score line is here. And then I'm going to kind of snug up the other part of the handle and adhere it about an inch apart. So it's about an inch from the top, and it's about an inch apart from tab to tab, the end of the tabs there. All right, so now we're going to do the bottom, and to do this, I am going to lay one piece down at a time. So I'm starting where the handle is, and I'm going to push that down, and then I'll push the next one down, and then the next one, and I'm going to keep going in that order until I get to the last one, and then I'm going to push it into the mug. I have my finger in the middle so I can pull up on the first one, and it kind of tucks itself underneath like that. Okay, so you're gonna have a little hole in the middle, but it's not gonna be a problem because we're going to adhere this to our cardstock saucer. All right, so we're gonna move to our saucer, and I have my 3.5 by 3.5 inch piece of real red cardstock, and now I'm going to grab one of our delicate doilies, and this is in Whisper White. I'm going to put a little bit of fast fuse just right in the middle on the back of that. You don't need a lot because it's so delicate. And then I'm going to just kind of center it right on that red piece. And I'm going to grab some of our Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue, and I am going to put a little bit on the bottom of the mug. So it just takes a few little droplets. So I'm just going to put them kind of in a circle, and I'm just kind of doing 2 circles all the way around like that. And now you're going to turn your mug over, and you're just going to plop it right down into the middle and make sure it's centered. That looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to hold it down for a second. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to lightly tap down on the inside of it. Let me see if I can get this kind of a little better on the light there. And I'm just going to kind of tap down on the inside of it to adhere it down. And I'm going to let that sit for just a second. So this is the point where you would get your bag ready. So take one of those gusseted cellophane bags. Again, this is the 3x6 and it's in the annual catalog. And then I'm just going to kind of open it up and I'm going to grab some of my beautiful white crispy paper and I'm just going to shove that all in the bag, every last little bit. And then I'm going to push it down to the bottom. I'm going to grab it down at the bottom and then I'm going to kind of pull it up a little bit because nobody's really going to see the bottom of the bag. They're going to see the top of the bag. And once you have it kind of fluffed up, then you can kind of squish the bag bottom a little bit and you should be able to slip it right into your mug, just like that. And of course, you're going to want to put your little gift in there. This would be perfect for chocolates. It would be perfect for maybe some money rolled up down, tucked in the middle down there. Something small but giftable. All right, and then the last thing we're going to do is wrap some of our organza ribbon around. So I'm just going to feed that through the handle and wrap it around to the front. So you're just going to wrap that ribbon around there, and then I'm going to tie as square of a knot as I can. So I'm going to put a little knot there, and then I'm going to bring this one up, tuck this one behind, pull this one through this way, and then I'm going to pull this, and that gives me a pretty square knot. We'll just trim the ribbon like so, and then there it is. There is our really cute mug with a easy way to give a small gift for Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up, leave me a comment and let me know what you thought, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of future videos. You can get me online at melissascreations.com, where you can click on shop now and get all the materials you need to make this lovely mug. You can also visit me on Facebook at facebook.com/mcreations. You can post your projects on Instagram and tag me at mcreations. Thank you so much for visiting me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the project. I hope to see yours too. Have a good one.